vendor use. What does that mean?
So I put vendor use, me as a vendor, when it was time for a lunch break, I had to remember how to get back down to my car. I was fortunate enough to be able to park inside the stadium, but it was like a mouse in a maze. I ended up in some weird places. So to be able to provide a 3D tour and say, okay, here's where you're going to start and here's where you're going to be working. And that's the path. Stick to it. So I don't end up, in the vice president's office of baseball operations or, the announcer's booth.
Okay. Insurance.
So, risk assessment, claims management, that sort of thing. You scan the ballpark and you have an accurate documentation of what's in there. And if there's ever a loss, whether that's an earthquake, we're in the Bay Area, or if there's a fire or a flood, you have that documentation of what was at the park at the time, or prior to the loss.
Marketing and promotion.
Well, this ballpark has been rented out for private events. I actually did photography for a bacon event there one time. Kanye West rented it out to propose to Kim Kardashian. So there's, things where if it's being rented out, somebody may want to know the size of a room so they can decorate ahead of time, or, plan the decorations ahead of time. So it's good in that aspect. There's some fans, for example, who aren't able to get to a stadium to enjoy a game, but they want to still kind of experience what it's like being in the ballpark. I have a friend who had a stroke and he's not as mobile as he used to be, but he wants to go to the LA Rams game, SoFi Stadium, I think. It's really nice. So imagine being able to scan that and send him a link and he can go explore it on his own. And then when he's watching the game on TV, he can feel like he's, been there. So those are some key aspects I liked about it.
Other marketing and promotion use cases?
Ticket sales. There's companies out there that can provide simulated views of what seat a fan would buy. So a fan buys a seat, they want to know what view they're going to get of the field. There's companies out there that can take the scan data and provide that render, I guess is what you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. I think you scanned some suites. I would imagine it's a similar thing. If you're going to go buy or lease or rent or however that works, you want to know what your suite looks like before you get there.
Yeah. And I heard just on the news yesterday that Levi Stadium, where the 49ers play, they're going to borrow $120 million to add a bunch of seats, but also I think 9 new suites. So imagine being able to scan the existing suites and maybe even using some of that data to render what views would look like of the new suites. And then you could get that out to the public so that borrowing money would be a little easier.